I'm just going to talk a bit about psychic protection and just go over some of the techniques that I tend to use, and just talk about the human aura, or the etheric field, as I tend to refer to it. So from my perspective, we all have spiritual protection inbuilt from birth, basically, and this is a kind of electromagnetic field that runs around the outside of our body. I kind of see it almost as though we're inside an egg, effectively, and this kind of egg is our auric protection, and that egg kind of extends out to around 4 feet around us. So I tend to think of myself when I'm walking around, I've kind of got this 4 foot's worth of protection around me. So as soon as I walk through a door or walk into somewhere, I can feel what people are thinking, or I can feel their emotional thought, because of course my auric field is actually entering a room before I appear myself in the physical. So the auric field is kind of our inbuilt protection, and it provides us with that spiritual protection in the same way that our clothing keeps us dry when we go outside and it's raining. We choose the clothing that we want. From a spiritual perspective, we need that auric field to be protective and whole. And of course, this is the key, really. So for many people that are having problems, and I think as you get older, your health kind of tends to go up and down depending upon which situations you go through in life. So trying to keep that auric field whole and complete, and offering the right level of protection that you need, is kind of essential, really. So some of the things that I tend to do to try and keep my auric field clear is I obviously have a shower every morning, and I tend to take a handful of sort of sea salt, and I kind of just run it around like the outside of my physical being, with the intention to kind of clear that auric field that extends, as I say, sort of 4 foot away from me. So you don't need to touch your skin with sea salt, just holding it in your hand and sort of running it under your feet, around your legs, up over the core part of your body, and then up over your head. That salt is effectively removing like negativity or negative vibration, negative energy from your auric field, even though you can't see it happening. So this is a good way to start the day. It cleanses you from that perspective. And then I tend to do a very quick meditation. It takes me kind of 30 seconds. I just visualize myself again in a kind of golden bubble of light. I see a door that opens, and I step through that doorway, and I close that door behind me. And then from an intention perspective, I'm in my kind of protected bubble. So I feel that I know from a spiritual perspective, I am in my own protective layer. And of course, the more often you do this, the faster it gets. And of course, the stronger the intention works. Therefore, the stronger the protection that you get, of course, as well. I then basically connect to my guide Chen and just check in with him in the morning to see basically what we're doing, where I am, is there anything I need to know. And we tend to have general conversations about the weather, about politics, about things that are happening on the planet. So it's kind of like having a sort of friend on your shoulder, basically, that you can't see, but you can talk to. And obviously he provides a lot of extra detail for me in terms of the way that I work and also live from a spiritual perspective. So that's kind of the start, really, from my perspective, to try and keep your auric field clear. And then some additional things I tend to employ on a weekly basis. So I kind of walk around the house with some fine sea salt and just sprinkle that over the carpets, in and around all of the rooms, and especially around all of the bedrooms and the beds, so that when you're sleeping, you've got kind of a layer of protection there. And I see this protection working, so I can see negative spirit and negative entities try to enter rooms that have a layer of sea salt around them, and they struggle to do it. It's not to say that it keeps you completely clear. There are very strong negative entities that sea salt seems to have no effect on, but certainly for weaker spirit or weaker entities, it does work, and it's really good. So I do that on a weekly basis. I also tend to go around the house, just burn some sage or some incense, allow the smoke just to move into the corners, and just open the windows and just allow any negativity to be cleared from the house. Even though the house tends to smell, obviously it provides a lot of cleansing and clearing. I've also got a set of tinctures which I kind of like to in fact I've got them here actually, I can show you. So I've got these little fellas, so I just bang them together. They sound great, and you can tell by the sound, basically, the more you hit them together, you can hear the sound becoming purer and purer. So obviously that sound vibration is moving all the way through the room, and it hits everything in the room, and it helps just to basically clear any stale negative energy. So you can walk around the house with a set of tingshaws, just tinging them together 3 or 4 times in each room, and that sound vibration effectively goes out like a laser into all the corners and just helps to clear away any negativity. And then obviously we're into, from your own perspective again, walking outside in nature around trees. I go for like a weekly bike ride through some woods and just spend a bit of time on my own in nature just to help to clear my sort of etheric field. I quite like it, so it's quite grounding. Come back tired, but I kind of feel spiritually very protected for doing that as well. And obviously if you're into connecting to nature elements, then obviously you can talk to them as well at the same time. Drinking lots of fresh water on a sort of daily basis helps to clear, detoxify the physical body, and of course that has a very positive effect on the auric field at the same time. So they're the kind of key things that I use on a daily/weekly basis to try and keep my etheric field clear and also the house clear. So if you can keep those two things in a positive way that you can, and of course the more you do these techniques and the more you think about doing these things, the stronger your protection becomes, and obviously ultimately the better you feel. So I'll sign off there for a moment.